Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live Accelebration program here on this Friday. We're coming to you live from our Humanities team studio in Boulder, Colorado. Thank you for being here with us. Big shout out to all of our Humanities Stream Plus subscription partners, people that are part of that platform. Our friends in Humanities team, folks that are on humanities.team, people on our Humanities team Facebook pages, and there are numerous ones, and also our friends on the Sign Network. We're broadcasting to many of the pages out on the Sign Network today. We're starting our program an hour early because we have a special guest coming in live from the United Kingdom, Lynn McTaggart. I'm going to introduce her in just a moment. A very exciting program in store for you. Our theme here today is called Creating Powerful Intention. And with Lynn McTaggart, of course, that's what we're going to do, isn't it? Create powerful intention. So we've got a lot of fun stuff that we want to do with you. We've got a little segment from a program that Lynn created with Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton called Smarter, Stronger, Faster. It's a 3-hour free online series. And we're going to, here just shortly, go to a segment from that so you can see what this powerful program is about. And then we're going to talk just about a lot of really cool stuff. The program itself, things that I know Lynn wants to get to here today, having to do with her intention experiments and her programs that are broadcasting all over the world right now. And we're going to get to an announcement that's very important for Humanities team. We'll do this near the end of the hour. It's called PACE. So we're going to tell you about this new program called PACE, which stands for Planetary Awakening and Conscious Evolution. Planetary Awakening and Conscious Evolution. And as you know, Humanities team is a global nonprofit. So we have no shareholders, no revenue targets, no profit targets. Our whole focus is to support people on their conscious journey, to create planetary awakening, and to manifest flourishing in all parts of our life. Now, what this PACE project is about, it's about just stating very clearly to all of our demographic, to our friends, our partners, our colleagues all over the world, that within 20 years, that we intend, with this whole ecosystem of partners, of faculty, of conscious partners, people in Humanities team, people outside of Humanities team, to manifest this planetary awakening and the fullness of this conscious evolution that creates a sustainable planet and that creates flourishing in all parts of our life. So this is a recent announcement. We just announced this in the last week. We're going to talk a little bit about that, about this project PACE and its importance and how all of the programs that Humanities team offers fits into PACE. All right, but we're going to begin with by talking about Smarter, Stronger, Faster. This is the 3-hour video series that was created by Humanities team, Lynn McTaggart, Greg Braden, and Bruce Lipton. And it's an astonishing program. The feedback that has come into us here as we're launching it for only the second time with live mentoring is astounding, where people are talking about the science that's in this program, the science of stretching and reaching into our full potential and capacities. So let's go to the video clip and watch a 5-minute segment. Again, this is a 3-hour series, so we're going to go to just a 5-minute segment, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the segment and how you can participate. This launch that I mentioned with this live mentoring, this is only the second time that we've launched this program. People all over the world are participating. The program, actually, a masterclass that follows the free series, begins on April 5th, so just around the corner. And there's some real cool, fun stuff that we're doing as a lead up to April 5th. So we'll talk about that here as well. So with that, I think we want to, and by the way, let me just share, comments are already coming in. So Thank you. There are people from Australia here, New Mexico, Toronto, Canada, Venice. So shout out to all of you. We've got friends on all of these pages that I referenced that are viewing, and they're all coming in and saying hi, sharing where they're viewing from. So thank you, friends. I can see the chat right here. So also, as you bring in things that you want to get to, comments or questions that you have about today's program, put them in the chat and I can just respond to them here real time. This is a live program. We call it Accelebration because it's about two things: accelerating our conscious journey and celebrating. It's Friday afternoon here in Boulder, Colorado. So, we ought to be celebrating 7 days a week, right? But certainly Friday afternoon. So these are the two things we're getting to here: accelerating our conscious evolution and celebrating. Thus, Accelebration. And it's a live program that we do every week. We're just starting 1 hour earlier for Lynn McTaggart's benefit here this week. All right, let's go to to this video segment that we've created for you, and then we're going to come back and talk about
it. And we don't use it. Many of the ancients have known about this for centuries, and we have somehow forgotten this. But there is solid evidence that we can see beyond our senses and pick up information beyond our five senses, that we can operate out of time, that we are picking up information from the past and from the future all the time. In fact, time, when we understand it as a forward-going arrow, that is not demonstrated to be true. That is one of our most fundamental beliefs, that, we're born, we grow older, we die. Life is a forward-going arrow from cradle to grave. We now understand, and most quantum physicists will accept this, that time is not one little arrow. Time is much more like one big smeared out now. And that we can access all kinds of information. This is not supposition, this is not superstition, this is not religion, this is scientific fact.
We appeared on Earth 200,000 years ago, fully intact, fully enabled, with a brain 50% larger than any other our nearest primate relatives, an extended neural network that we're going to talk about in this program that allows us to self-regulate our own biology. And if you compare our DNA now to the DNA that's extracted from ancient fossils representing those forms of life, we haven't changed. That is not Darwin's idea of evolution. We arrived with everything we need, light years beyond what was needed to survive in that moment. It was already with us.
We have more equipment than any machine, and we don't use it. Many of the ancients have known about this for centuries.
The fact is, consciousness is creating this, and it's energy, and energy is shaping matter. So once we start to own this as truth, and all of a sudden people start to recognize the power of consciousness. You have to be very careful in one sense, because you don't realize your thoughts are being manifest into reality.
That thoughts are not just things, but thoughts are trespassers that go outside our head and traverse into other people and things and affect them and alter them. And we know this not because of supposition, but because of an enormous body of science that has demonstrated that we can change everything from single-celled organisms to full-fledged human beings.
Oh my goodness, this is a time to recognize your thoughts are not just passing through your head. Your thoughts are manifesting a life experience. And all of a sudden it says, then we should pretty much be concerned about what we're thinking these days.
The brain doesn't know the difference between having an experience and watching someone else have the experience. Think about the potential for healing. If we can feed those mirror neurons images of our own healing, what happens is, because the brain doesn't know the difference, it begins to create the chemistry and sends the signals to the body, and it says, hey body, we better create the chemistry to match this image of healing that we're now receiving.
The chemistry of the brain is a complement to the picture in the mind. If you have a positive picture, you create positive chemistry, and if you have a negative picture, unfortunately, you create negative chemistry. The chemistry is a complement to the picture.
We can affect our world. We are broadcasting 24/7. We are out there broadcasting with every thought we hold. It is affecting. We think, therefore we affect.
We're still discovering what we are and what it means to be human. And the purpose of this program, of us putting this together, and Bruce and Lynn and I all feel the same way about this, is let's find out this extraordinary potential that lives within each of us. Let's find out what that potential is and how we can apply it in our lives to become the best versions of ourselves and create the best families, the strongest societies, ultimately, Steve, the best world possible.
Wow, you can see why there's so much interest in this program, can't you? I mean, isn't it phenomenal where we're discovering still what our human potential and capacities are, and that we're nowhere near close to most of us, to living in the fullness of that potential and capacities. By the way, I'm here with my partner, goes by Noah, Tim Noah. And so we're going to just talk a little bit about this. We're bringing in Lynn McTaggart here shortly. She's coming in on a live feed from her home in the United Kingdom. So let me just share some of the things that Lynn gets to in this free series. I mentioned this is a 3-hour series. It's 1 hour with Lynn, then with Greg, and then with Bruce. So a 3-hour series. Now what Lynn gets to is you discover how to affect and alter matter, including your own body and mind, with your thoughts alone. Access more of your hidden ability to operate beyond your senses over any distance. Achieve superhuman potentials and deep states of healing through the power of group consciousness. I mean, any of these alone, aren't they phenomenal that we're discovering these kinds of capacities? Understand and learn from the extraordinary mirror effect created by group intention. And then keep the power of your thoughts from causing damage to your own life and to the lives of others. Just absolutely astonishing. And these are only the things that Lynn gets to in her part of the program. Greg and Bruce have their own part of the program. Now, this is a free series, and we had a URL there on the screen here just a moment ago. If you go to humanitiesteam.org with a Y, humanitiesteam.org, and scroll down, you'll see the free series promotion there. It's called Smarter, Stronger, Faster. And if you just leave your name and email address, you're going to get then registered for the free series. There's something now a week from this weekend. So not this weekend, but the weekend after, we have this free viewing weekend where all of the 3 programs are going to be playing, and you can watch them anytime at your leisure. Now there's a secret here though as well, which is that when you sign up, we're going to send links right back, and you can actually start watching each of these free programs at your leisure, even today or this coming weekend. They're available, of course, the free viewing weekend out a week from now, but you can start watching them today. So Noah, I want to come over to you here. We have had such a blast with this program. The feedback that has just come in has been astonishing, hasn't it?
Absolutely. For the free program, of course, and for everything even after that comes after with the masterclass, is just everybody is so excited about the language that is shared, and just the change in our perspective, and how we can use it, even more importantly, how we can use it in our life to tap into this potential, as Lynn likes to put it.
Right. Absolutely, to tap into this potential, which is just astonishing. So There is a master class that follows this for those that are interested in going deeper, and that master class is called Technology, Consciousness, and Evolution. And it goes really deep then into this whole process of using what these scientists and researchers call our soft technology. So without any neural brain implant or anything, just taking full advantage of our soft technology, our being state, our oneness, our connection with life, where knowledge centers get turned on, and where what Dr. Larry Dossey calls this non-local intelligence then becomes available to us. Astonishing. And of course, our viewers, all of you, are on the conscious journey. So I know you're familiar with the things that I talk about. We've probably all actually experienced these things. What this program is about is living in that constant state of experiencing, where we really deeply understand these capacities, and where we're doing these intentional kinds of things, metaphysical kinds of things that are creating healing, and where there's a mirror effect, is what Lynn McTaggart calls it, where it's actually bringing healing straight back on the group that's involved in the intention.
So it's Steve, and before we continue, David, I think in chat, and just apologies, we only see a couple chats at a time. We're still refining this, but I think David was asking about the results of the intention experiment, and Lynn talks about these in the free series. So certainly sign up, and you can watch her video. You can see her talk all about this, because this is a significant portion of her work, is carrying out these experiments and then translating them, the results of them, for us. And needless to say, there are some remarkable results from pretty much all of the experiments that she's run.
Yeah. By the way, let me share. We can see the comments. So people coming in from Germany, from Australia, from Austria, from Warwickshire, United Kingdom, from Capital City in Canada, Ontario. So all over the world, and thank you all for being here. This is a weekly live broadcast that we do. So appreciate you all being with us here. Have just a fantastic program and score. Now, as Noah mentions, during Lynn's 1 hour program, she gets into actual intention experiments, including one in the United States, where the intention was to reduce serious crime, murder, actually, in what was the murder capital of the United States. And she takes you through the process they created, and then the actual statistics from this intention experiment. And academic realms actually quote from these experiments that Lynn is doing. These are peer-reviewed projects, so they're truly astonishing. Noah, what are other things here that you really appreciate? Now, let me share. I mentioned the viewing weekend, which is just around the corner. We did just complete. We actually had a standalone webinar, first for Greg Braden, then for Bruce Lipton, and then for Lynn McTaggart. And now we're coming up on the free viewing weekend. The program itself, with the masterclass for those that are interested, follows. It starts on April 5th, so we're out still a couple of weeks. We've received more feedback on this program, and we're an 18-year-old nonprofit, than any other program that we've run.
Absolutely. We get so many people are interested in this. And one thing that I'd like to walk in here is, I'm sure many of us are watching from our Humanities.team page. And this is a place where we invite all of us here to continue the discussion, because we're all familiar with watching something inspiring, watching a webinar, watching a video, whatever it may be, or even joining in on the discussion during it. But then inevitably the video ends or the discussion ends. And Humanities.team is a place where we can congregate and gather and continue the discussion. We can make a post sharing our thoughts about it. We can post an image that we find is relevant. So I invite us to, if you're not signed up to Humanities.team, I invite us to sign up and continue the discussion of these webinars, to talk about what Bruce shares and what Greg shares, and of course what Lynn shares, so that we can amplify these teachings and not just have it be in the past, but just for it to continue to be here in the present.
Yes, yes, and humanities.team is this. It's like Facebook, but we don't have any of the unconscious crowd there. It's all conscious. So inspiring pictures and graphics and updates, and it's so really awesome to be in a community where everybody's conscious. We're all on this journey together, and just sharing this cool stuff and challenges that people have too, but challenges relating to the conscious journey. And that's humanities.team, and I know many of you are coming in from humanities.team. Now, this free series, over 45,000 people are signed up for this free series. And that's just for this second launch that we're doing. And the numbers are still climbing. As I mentioned, the series is continuing for another 9 days. And then this masterclass called Technology, Consciousness, and Evolution follows. And that starts on April 5th. But even if you have absolutely no interest in this phenomenal masterclass with Greg, Bruce, and Lynn, Smarter, Stronger, Faster, the 3-hour video series, is astonishing, and I promise you, you'll walk away with tools for conscious living that'll be astounding. Let me read for you. I mentioned the things that Lynn gets to during her segment of Smarter, Stronger, Faster. Let me read you here briefly what Greg gets to in his series, and then what Bruce Lipton gets to in his series. So Greg gets to accessing new pathways to healing and creating optimal states of physical and emotional health. Use simple techniques that allow you to achieve advanced brain states that are the key to unlocking your superhuman potentials. This is what Greg Braden is getting to during this series. Experience deep states of personal and non-local intuition at will. Trigger longevity enzymes inside your body that are directly linked to biological markers for aging. Understand what your ability to now access these hidden states of super consciousness, super learning, and super perception reveals about what lies ahead of us in our future. I mean, isn't that it's astounding? Just what Len is getting to, and now what Greg's getting to. Let me share what Bruce gets to during this series. Understand the full role of consciousness, according to the principles of quantum physics, plays in shaping our life experiences. Free yourself from the limitations of 4 myth perceptions that have misprogrammed civilization into believing we are victims of our heredity. Take control of your genetics, your health, and your life experiences by exerting influence over the signals sent to your mind by your consciousness, beliefs, and emotions. Participate in the unfolding of the simple 2-step process that advances planetary evolution as we complete the 3rd cycle of an upward evolutionary spiral. Understand what the new emerging story of evolution means for your life and how to best use this newfound understanding to advance your own evolution and the evolution of our whole species. So isn't that astonishing? A lot of times, as you know, in the transformational education industry, these free programs are really more about why you should take a masterclass. We're a nonprofit. We're the largest, the #1 global nonprofit in transformational education. And so part of our mission is just to make sure that everybody that comes, and I mentioned 45,000 are already signed up for Smarter, Stronger, Faster. That's just here in this 2021 series. And we want every single one of those 45,000 people to go away saying, oh my God, thank God that I took the time to watch this series. I cultivated so many practices for living consciously from this series. And of course we do pull up the curtain and reveal the new masterclass in the series, but we get to so many powerful things. I was just sharing what Greg, Bruce, and Lynn get to during each of their segments that are part of Smarter, Stronger, Faster. So truly an astonishing program, and I invite you to just leave your name and email address there. Go to humanitiesteam.org and scroll down, you'll see the Smarter, Stronger, Faster promotion, and you just leave your first name and your email address, and you'll get signed up for this astonishing series. Now, Noah, other things you want to share here about this?
What is coming to mind first of all, Julie in chat is asking if this series in general is similar to a book that is called Your Mind Can Heal You, and absolutely, this course is essentially all about the power of our mind and our thoughts and our intentions and how we can use it to heal ourselves, to heal all that's around us, ultimately, because it's the same healing. So certainly I think, Julie, you would appreciate this program. And as Steve is reading these wonderful descriptions, what I believe, of course, these are scientists that are with us. For those of us that are familiar with Bruce and Greg and Lynn, they're scientists, but they have such a knack and a skill, a talent, a precision for communicating these things in layman's terms. So all of these things, maybe what they're talking about, the title of them may seem like it's technical, and what they're talking about is very technical. All these scientific principles and discoveries and tests and so forth and experiments. But they're sitting down and they're professionals at communicating them with people that have no idea what the technical terms are. So we watch this series. I know I enjoy it. I'm inspired because all of these instructors are so relatable and enjoyable and kind-hearted that you just feel like you're friends with them having a chat more than just listening to a scientist giving a dissertation or something.
Yes, so true, so true. They're brilliant, each of them. But that's a nice way of putting it. It's almost like you're sitting down with a friend having a chat because they're storytelling through the whole thing, where they're revealing their research, their science that provides this basis. So there's no ambiguity about what is being discussed. The peer-reviewed science is what Greg, Bruce, and Lynn bring in during this program. There's no ambiguity about what this research is. They just lay it out straight, and then they go to all of the implications of this as to how do we embody these processes? How do we express these things? How do we live our lives in these practices? And they share it in highly relatable ways. And of course, like all of the thought leaders that are in this conscious community, they chose this work because they're concerned about the unfolding of life on this planet. They're concerned about our conscious evolution. And as we know, there's a lot of things that we need to do individually and collectively to create a sustainable planet, a flourishing planet. We're going to get to that here in a little bit during this program. But that's why they came into this, into the work that they do, the science and research that they're bringing forward, which is revealed also in their books. And they're right here with all of the other thought leaders, and there's so many. And of course, we've partnered with many of them in Humanities team to just bring forward the science, the research, the practical applications for living this, and with the whole idea of each of us becoming fully conscious. Because almost all of us grew up unconscious. Our parents didn't know what consciousness was. Our school systems didn't. And of course, today, in most of the sectors of life, these things are institutionalized unconsciously. So we're actually doing the U-turn individually and collectively here on this planet now. So again, these thought leaders are amazing.
And just, Steve, if you don't mind, we have a couple of people asking, of course, we said that Lynn will be joining us for an attention experiment, and we're just getting her set up. We're having a bit of some technical issues with getting her on the call, so we're waiting to see if she'll join us shortly. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, and one thing about doing these live programs, every Friday we're broadcasting live. Usually we begin at 12 noon Pacific, that's 3 Eastern. We want to do them live because there's a special kind of community feel. We're looking right now at your live comments coming in so we can get to them. there's a sense of, okay, we're all here together. When we talk about Accelebration, it's real. We can feel it. It's palpable. Now, if we recorded this program, it would be not quite the same. We wouldn't be looking at any of your live comments and things. Now, a drawback to going live is we're bringing in these leaders from all over the world. A couple of weeks ago, we had Bruce Lipton with us. He was coming in from New Zealand. So he was here live on a Saturday morning, and I'm here talking to you on a Friday afternoon. And we were sitting there side by side on camera. Probably a lot of you caught that program. So it's very cool, very fun, very powerful to do live programs. But when you do live programs, do them at your own risk, because sometimes you're going to have technical difficulties bringing somebody in. We're working right now to see if we can have Lynn come in on camera. Hopefully we'll be able to do that during this program. Now, somebody was asking here in comments, they were saying, how do you register for humanities.team? Okay, and Noah, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Actually, if you're asking this question and we see it, then you're on the page, so you have a good start. I think you'll have to scroll down just below the chat window, and you'll see a little bar that says sign up, and you just click there. You put in pretty much just name and email address. Now, you'll essentially send a request, and then we will approve you to enter within a day or two. So just sign up right below. You can always delete it if you don't enjoy it, but there's no personal information that you're sharing. It's just whatever you're called to share, whatever name you want to be displayed, and your email address, so that we can confirm it's a unique person.
Yeah, so no big complicated process. Just go to humanities.team, humanities.team, and that's all. We're used to URLs of some www.this-and-this.org. In this case, it's as simple as humanities.team, and boom, you land right there in our virtual community. So let me share, we're coming to you live here from our studio and offices in Boulder, Colorado. So isn't this cool? We're not just sitting here in Zoom like in front of a computer. We're coming to you live from our studio in Boulder, Colorado. We have beautiful offices here. When in the summertime, we'll turn the camera around so you can see. We're actually looking out at the Flatirons, and our offices are right here. Our studio's right here, and it's a very awesome place actually to be based. And of course, we have colleagues and partners that are all over the world. We'll introduce some, or at least shout out to them when the program's over, because we've got Jim Gray, who's actually here in the studio with us, supporting this program, but also Garth Catterall out of Oregon. Dee Meyer is coming in from Albuquerque. Karen Gordon also out of Oregon. So our partners and colleagues are located all over the world, just like you all. But our studio is right here in Boulder, and a beautiful place to be. And of course, since we're talking about Boulder, we did have this, I'm sure all of you followed in the media, this horrific gun incident where 10 people lost their lives a week ago. So it was a week ago today. So prayers to them and their families. Really heartbreaking stuff. And of course, in Humanities team, we support gun control. And AK-47 shouldn't be out in the public. And people should be license checked and things. So, because imagine losing some of your family to a horrific incident like that. Okay, well, there's a lot more that we could share here now about Smarter, Stronger, Faster, including things that I know Lynn wanted to get to here as part of this program. Noah, did you have any particular thing you wanted to?
Well, just addressing a question from chat. Julie's asking, this is just a tie-dye shirt, so I think it covers all the chakras, Julie, so thank you. But I wish I could speak with the authority that Lynn could about her findings, Steve. I know we watched her segment, which is very powerful in itself. But just, again, to reiterate how Steve is bringing in our program, the Smarter, Stronger, Faster, It's free to sign up, and it's 3 hours of content with these world leaders. So there's really no big downside to signing up. You get 3 hours, 3 different programs of real global leaders that are using their very technical and world-class background to summarize their teachings in an hour, which of course it always runs very quickly. But sign up. I think we'll put the link in chat for you to easily access that sign-up page. It's been listed throughout this program.
Yeah, and by the way, a shout out also to Lynn McTaggart's friends, because we are broadcasting to her Facebook page as well. So, hey, thank you all for being here with us. So now I know some of the things that Lynn wanted to get to are, and she states this in her own language, but in these experiments that she does, there's this whole aligning with the one would be the term that I would call it, where we're, of course, Lynn talks about oneness, that it's real, and this whole illusion of separation is it's an illusion. It's not real. In fact, people have come to Humanities team that are a part of our organization who first learned about oneness from Lynn McTaggart. So, and of course, science and research says, including quantum physics, says that everything is deeply interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent. That our eyes, in a sense, deceive us because space looks like it's empty, but in fact, there's this deep connection between everything and everyone, and that we're actually all an emanation of the one. You could also say we're offspring of the one, but emanation gets to it, I think, in a more clear way, because if everything is deeply interconnected and we're coming from one source, which we call the divine and humanities team, then we're actually emanating, right, in every moment from that source consciousness. And when we become conscious, this is when we wake up to who we are, to how life really works, to what emanation means. And so to what these potential and capacities mean that we don't understand growing up, where we think our thoughts are just random things, that they don't really mean anything, that they don't have any impact on the world. Well, it turns out not true at all. Our thoughts are very powerful, incredibly powerful, not only for us in terms of how our life unfolds, but for the collective, because our thoughts are actually joining with collective thoughts and then creating our collective way of living on the planet. So her first step is then this process of just alignment. Her second step then is as we become aligned, she talks about how we open these wisdom centers within us. And this is really interesting, where she brings in this notion of opening wisdom centers within us, because one of the things I've felt deeply into, all the way back to my Silicon Valley days, but even more so now as I'm quite conscious, is that for me to really come into the fullness of wisdom, that I don't want to just be in my mind. I don't want to be just thinking out wisdom. Instead, I want to be feeling in to wisdom. I want to just like right now, just to consciously quiet myself and breathe consciously and feel into this source of which I'm a part, and actually either the sacred of which I'm a part. You could even say this blessing in this very moment that is the invitation in life to be living into this blessing, this beauty, this grace, this peace, this wisdom that is life. So I understand that for me to be in touch with any wisdom that I might want to bring into my life, the best way to do that is not just to be thinking, but instead to be centering myself and feeling, and even allowing myself to connect with across all of the wisdom centers in my body that can connect me with any wisdom that I might want or need. And I can remember I had a business partner in Silicon Valley, and I remember my business partner would say, Steve, you're kind of on the move, where it's just kind of this and then over there and then back here. How is all of that orchestrated? How are you, feeling into this and then that and then this? And how are you able to kind of move around into so many different things? It's almost like you have, there's more than one mind that's operating here, and it is more than one mind. It's Dr. Larry Dossey calls it the non-local mind. Again, we're an emanation of the one. So any wisdom that we might want or need, actually, boom, it's right here, right now. And I'm sure that all of you viewers know exactly what I mean. Most of us would say we don't live that way always. So that's where we're creating these kinds of programs that we do, creating our master classes. The whole objective is to create a fullness of conscious living so that we can, in any moment during our life, we can tap into any wisdom we might need. We can tap into any guidance we might need, any resources we might need. So, and that's what all of these master classes and other transformational education are about that we create in Humanities team. So that's step 2 that Len talks about. And then step 3 is the powerful manifesting. That's the end product. Where through intention, like somebody was asking earlier about this intention experiment here in the US, where it was focused on a murder capital of the country and how that dramatically was reduced through a shared intention by people all over the world. So where we're now powerfully manifesting just by our sheer deep and felt intention. So the 3 steps then are aligning with the one, then opening our wisdom centers, and then powerfully manifesting. And Len actually would break it into something that was even was fuller than that, with more steps that were involved. But that's how I would describe her process. Okay, well, we want to go over to another. I mentioned at the beginning of this program that just in the past week we announced something very important, a project called PACE. And PACE stands for Planetary Awakening and Conscious Evolution. And I'd like to share with you a little bit about PACE, because it's actually a very important project, and all of the work that we're doing in Humanities team, these master classes that we're creating, the Global Oneness Summit, all of the things that we're doing are actually what this PACE is about. So what we announced here this past week, and you'll see this on our website and videos that'll be coming out and things from us, even on our Facebook page, is it's about achieving planetary awakening and conscious evolution in the next 20 years. Now, as we know, many thought leaders, including those that we work with, have been sharing for some time that there's an existential crisis here on the earth, right? That we are not living in harmony with the earth. And we've created an ecosystem that is very out of balance. That we have created careless behaviors, right, that are supporting devolution. So that's the spiral down, that are in being unconscious. We've created this spiral down, these unconscious behaviors, careless behaviors that are supporting devolution. And of course, we can see that in climate change and in humanitarian practices and so on. Now, our focus here for the next 20 years is to create conscious practices to support all of you on your conscious journey, to support and to manifest and to get out in the world conscious practices that elevate us individually and that elevate us collectively. with the outcome that in 20 years from now, that we have conscious homes, we have conscious countries, conscious workplaces, a conscious world, a conscious planet, a conscious humanity. So it's a very big vision. It's a very bold vision. But candidly, it's a necessary vision. We need to know that humanity is going to survive on this planet, not just survive, but flourish on this planet. And the way that we do that is it's a simple but complex process. The simple process is just to move from these careless behaviors to these conscious practices that elevate us individually and collectively. And this program we were just talking about, Smarter, Stronger, Faster, is an example of a fabulous free online series. And then the masterclass that follows, Technology, Consciousness, and Evolution, that talk about how we can live an elevated life. But there's so many other programs that we have created also. It's one called Healing the Past with Thomas Hubel and Joan Borisenko. I have my own program called Conscious Leadership. There's a program that Panache Desai and Michael Beckwith created called Limitlessness. And Neil Donald Walsh created a program called Our Final Frontier. There actually are many master classes. I won't try and share the names of all of them, but we're putting out in the world master classes and transformational education that are supporting this process of these conscious practices that elevate us individually and collectively, and that move us away from these careless behaviors that have created devolution, these severe challenges that we face in the world today. Now I'm going to talk some more about this program, but I want to come over to you, Noah, because this is such an important announcement, and I want to just get your take here.
Sure. So, PACE. Perhaps we can think of it as we are all, Humanities team is saying this, but we are all collectively setting the pace. Of course, PACE stands for Planetary Awakening and Conscious Evolution, and we're setting the pace in the sense of we see that this is happening. We put this 20-year timeline on it because we're feeling into the fact that 20 years from now, something substantial is going to happen where we know without a doubt that, we were tuned into something, and this confirms it. Now, we're all setting the pace. Humanities team will continue to say it, but everybody, as we all know, everybody's on Humanities team. We're all humanity. And so we can set the pace, just as you know, we go for a jog and we're setting the pace for a certain jog or a certain run or a certain bike ride. We can set the pace in our own awakening and our own evolution. We're setting this pace not just for ourselves when we're doing this, but for all of humanity, all of Earth, all of the solar system, all of existence. And so we invite us all to feel into this, and not in the sense of something bad will happen if we don't, but in the sense of this is happening. And thank you, Sophie, for setting the intention, for bringing Lynn in, because I think I hear her on the audio.
Okay, I'm here.
Jim, can we bring Lynn on here? Hold on, don't worry. I think Lynn will be with us shortly.
All right, hooray! So we have been working to bring in Lynn McTaggart. She's coming in live from her home. I think we can hear her on the audio feed, so we're gonna.
Can you see me on the picture? I'm here in a corner of the picture. Can you see me, guys? We have been spending about 30 minutes trying to get me on here, and somebody finally walked me through. There was a problem with our camera and mic, but anyway, here we are.
We hear you, Lynn.
Thank you, guys.
Can the audience hear Lynn?
The audience can hear Lynn, so we'll get Lynn. Hey!
There we are. All right,
Yay.
Lynn. Hooray! Okay. Hooray!
Oh, God.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna,
let me
even if
just
Lynn
get
can go
myself
long,
here.
we'll go a little long because we're coming in a little later. Lynn, I don't know
I
what your
think
schedule
we
is.
can. We've been so, we've had such a an ordeal. But thanks to the power of intention, I'm here with
There
you.
we go. Yeah, the power of intention. It's real. So here we are. This is
Great.
live. So Lynn from the United Kingdom, me from Boulder, Colorado. Let me give Lynn a proper introduction here, though she really needs no introduction. Most people know of all of the great work Lynn's doing, but let me just give her a proper introduction. Lynn McTaggart is one of the central voices in the New Conscious movement. She is the award-winning author of 6 books, including the worldwide bestsellers, The Field, The Intention Experiment, The Bond, What Doctors Don't Tell You, and also The Power of 8. And her books are now in some 30 languages. She has won many plaudits, including Kindred Spirit's Spiritual Writer of the Year for 2013, the Nautilus Awards Best Science Book of 2012, and she is consistently listed in the Watkins annual list of the 100 most spiritually influential people in the world. So there's a formal welcome, and great to have you with us here, Lynn.
Oh, thanks, Steve. And thank you for all of your great comments. And I've been hearing you guys. You just haven't been hearing me.
All right. Well, now we get to we were talking about Smarter, Stronger, Faster, and this amazing collaboration, isn't it, with Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden, where the 3 of you come together. As far as I know, it's kind of the first time maybe something like this has been attempted. But collaborative teaching and then also live mentoring is so incredibly powerful. We were putting words around the program. Is there anything you want to share about it, Lynn?
Well, I think that we didn't realize how timely it was going to be when we were thinking about it, because, of course, we formulated it well before the pandemic. But now we have probably an unprecedented situation where we are now being told that, for instance, our immune systems aren't going to work adequately without technology. And this is cutting edge technology, the new vaccine. Now, I'm not putting down or making comments about the vaccine, but what I do know is this, that entry into RNA technology is the beginning of an announcement, essentially, and a new era of trying to upgrade the human. And I say upgrade in inverted commas, because what our course is all about, what our information is all about, is saying that we've only used a tiny, tiny portion of who we really are. Our capacity as human beings is smarter, faster, stronger than any piece of AI, any equipment we can devise. You know, our immune system alone, Steve, is so brilliant that we have to say, basically, that a vaccine is at best a poor substitute for a powerful, extraordinary, and smart piece of equipment, which is our immune system. And what my piece is really all about, and what I want to really emphasize, is the extended human potential we already possess that has been denied us. You know, I mean, we've been told, we knew we were magnificent and magical beings when we were children, but that's been denied over and over again by our teachers, by maybe our parents, by our authority figures, and also our science. And so we've come to believe that. We've come to believe that we are mechanistic. We're nothing more than a little bit of electricity and chemicals and processing. But as I talk about in Smarter, Stronger, Faster, and also as I talk about in our master class, you know, we have the capacity to see beyond our senses. We have the capacity to intuit the future. We have the capacity to read other people's minds. We have the capacity to see things on the other side of the universe in our minds in great detail. And of course, we have the extraordinary capacity through our thoughts to create our world. And so that's really what I want to try to relay to the public. And this isn't the area of this isn't the arena of mysticism. This is the arena of frontier science.
Yes, it is. And that is why this is so powerful. I mentioned that 45,000 people have already signed up for this. And that's just this year. That's not the first launch that we did. That's just this second launch. There's 45,000 and counting. So, and it's such an amazing program. It's 3 hours of free online video content where Greg's science and Bruce's science and Lynn's research come in to talk about how we can live really in the fullness of our potential and capacities without doing a neural brain implant or something else that I'm not sure we want to do. So, and we,
Exactly.
yeah, we can go to the stars and back just with who we are.
Exactly. We don't need to upgrade. We need to upgrade what's already there. And that's the thing. We need to learn how to use what we have, because we don't even know how to use that yet, Steve. And that's what we hope to bring. And I think what's been so exciting for Bruce, Greg, and I over the year of putting together this course and talking about this free event too is this information is so pertinent now. I mean, we see so much of the old world crumbling and a new world needing to be born. And so it needs to start with a totally new definition of what it means to be human. And that is really what we want to try to relay to everyone. It starts with a new science. It starts with a new story. And that's what we hope to provide, is the new story.
Yes, amazing. So, and I mentioned to viewers that we did do these standalone programs, but the free viewing weekend is still out ahead of us. And for people that even register today, and you can go to humanitiesteam.org, or I think on Lynn's Facebook page, there may be a little link that you can click to. Also on our Humanities Team Facebook page. But the Humanities Team website, you can just scroll down. You'll see the Smarter, Stronger, Faster program there, and you just leave your name and email address. And even though there's a free viewing weekend that's out a week out, as a practical matter, when you register, we send you a link right away, and you can actually watch all 3 of these programs right away. You could watch them today or this weekend. So invite people to check it out. It's such a astounding program with where they collected up over a period of about a year. We created this program and distilled all of this amazing wisdom down into first the free program, Smarter, Stronger, Faster, and then this program that follows called Technology, Consciousness, and Evolution. And it has 24 modules, and there's live mentoring. So this is only the second time we've launched this program with live mentoring, where Lynn will come in for an hour live with the audience, also Greg, also Bruce. So there's a lot more that we could tell you about the program. I won't try and overview it all here, but if you sign up for the free series, we'll send you the information then to both become deeply familiar with everything in the free series, and also we'll tell you about technology, consciousness, and evolution, so you can then spend some quality time on that page and see if you get an in or yes, if this is something that you're called to participate in. We are totally looking forward to the program starting here on April 5th. So Lynn and Greg and Bruce and all of Humanities Team and all of these people that are registering, we're all going through this 8-week program. It starts on April 5th, so we still have some time. And we've never had as many comments shared with us, positive comments, as we have with this program. So I invite you to check it out. Now,
that's so fantastic, Steve. Yeah, and what's so exciting to us is the extraordinary new science never gets boring. I mean, for me, one of the most exciting things to really think about when you think about the new science and your capacity is the fact that I've done a lot of research, and also done a lot of experiments out of time. And what I love is our idea that time is this forward-going arrow, and that, we understand time is totally linear. But all of the research that has been done in this area, and any quantum physicist worth his salt says that that kind of linear time is a complete illusion. That time is much more like one big smeared out now. And space is much more like one big smeared out here. And when you start understanding that there is great science behind that and enormous studies, and I detail all of that. But what I find really exciting is working out of time. I do a lot of work now out of time with intention, both forward and backward. And it is extraordinary. It works. And I've seen it work thousands of times with people. So the point is, we aren't individuals that just operate in a linear capacity. We can connect all over our lives with our past, with our future. And that opens us up to enormous capability.
No kidding. No kidding. Yeah. And, just I'll bring in something here, kind of anecdotal relating to this. My aunt lives here in Boulder, and her partner passed several years ago. But so one of the implications of what Len is sharing is there's an afterlife and there's the embodied realm, and this is all active all the time. Now, a very talented leader that's part of this whole Humanities team community, she books out 2 years in advance for these sessions where she'll then connect a person with people in the afterlife that are wanting to come in and share. This happened just this last week, and oh my God, the personal sharing that came through from the partner that was there, saying all of these things, and this my aunt was just in tears. It was like, oh my God, it was so impactful. And this is just one of the implications. The implications are stunning, aren't they, Lynn?
They really are. I've done it with my intention work. We do some retro intention and time travel. And there was actually one woman who had vitiligo, where she has lost a lot of pigment in her skin. And she started doing this and literally said to us, my skin is repigmenting now. We went back to the time before she had it. And we've done that kind of experiment with huge numbers of people and have some really positive results. It's really extraordinary. The other thing that you mentioned about mediums, I love the work, and it's ongoing work, of Dr. Gary Schwartz, the noted psychologist, who did the afterlife experiments and now has what he calls a soul phone. He actually does double-blind studies with mediums, and has had something like an 85% accuracy rate, where they didn't pick up from the person itself. They had an intermediary as the sitter, because they didn't want the medium to be accused of any kind of cueing. And they still got 85% information right about the deceased person. But my favorite one of all, Steve, and this one takes the cake, was a double-blind, double-deceased experiment. Gary had a medium he used to work with who died, and he had a medium contact her and then contact somebody else who was dead and relay that information back. And you know what? It was accurate. So these kinds of things, plus, near-death experience information that is being collected by scientists like Pim von Lommel, and even the work of Konstantin Korotkov, who measures light emissions after people have died. All of that comes together as extraordinary evidence that consciousness doesn't die, that consciousness lives on.
Absolutely. Yeah, as you mentioned when we were starting this program, we're just at the beginning. The implications of this research, of this science, is just it's astounding. And imagine what the next generation will be like, where we have a conscious planet and where we're taking full advantage of our human capacities. It's just going to be quite a different life than the one that most of us grew up in, where our parents were unconscious, the school system was unconscious, the medical system was unconscious, and on and on. It's quite a U-turn where we're leaving that kind of way of living into what the invitation of life, I believe, was to live, which is what we're talking about here now, where we really come to understand who we really are, what our capacities are, what the
Oh,
invitation of life
absolutely,
is.
Steve. You know, and I've seen it with the power of intention. I mean, you know, I have seen people who have, I saw a woman who was paralyzed get up out of her wheelchair after 10 minutes of intention, first time she ever did it in a group. I've seen people who have terrible, debilitating chronic fatigue get over it, get over addictions, sugar addiction, drug addiction. I've seen people get over, you know, debilitating depression. And this is with a power of eight group, nothing more. And so that whole thing, and I'll leave you with a study that I just love. This study really speaks to the power of the mind and the enormous capacity that lays there untapped. There was a study by Harvard University's Ted Kapchuk, who has done a lot of studies about healing, and particularly the placebo effect. So he decided to compare giving patients with serious carpal tunnel syndrome a pill, a pain pill, versus people given acupuncture. So he did that. Now, 1/3 of this large group of about 300 people or something were so ill from the treatment, either one of the treatments, that they had to go to bed. They couldn't get out of bed. But the majority, I think that was 1/3, the majority were vastly improved. Now, here's the interesting piece of it. The pill was a bit of cornstarch. It was it was a placebo. And the acupuncture they were retractable needles. So it wasn't real acupuncture. It was sham acupuncture. It was the thought of getting better, of being healed, that got these people healed. And that, to me, says everything. And when we look at new science, Steve, we see that when someone takes a placebo, that activates everything in the mind related to pain, from the acknowledgement that you're feeling pain to the actual physical pain itself, to what am I going to do about this pain? So all of that is activated by the thought of taking medicine. Even when people are given medicine that says placebo on it, if the doctor tells them to take it and that it's going to work, it works. And that is the mind-blowing element of it. So when you think about the implications of that, everybody out there, that is astonishing about our latent capacity to heal. And that is my area of great, great interest and investigation.
Yes, it is. And Smarter, Stronger, Faster, and Technology, Consciousness, and Evolution. Lynn really brings that in. So be sure to check that out. And I think you'll see links from wherever your viewing experience might be. And if you don't see a link for some reason, you can go to humanitiesteam.org and just scroll down and you'll see how to register. Let me just, while Lynn's here, I want to go ahead and bring in, we're starting to talk about this new project we just announced called PACE, which stands for Planetary Awakening, Conscious Evolution. And the acronym PACE is important because what the initiative is about is really getting on a pace. A pace to what? A pace to creating a sustainable and flourishing planet, a conscious planet where we elevate ourselves individually and elevate ourselves collectively in a 20-year time frame. So it's pretty bold, But we're partnered with people like Len McTaggart, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, Michael Beckwith, Neil Donald Walsh, on and on. Even the late Barbara Marks Hubbard has a lot of programs with us in Humanities team. And there are many new programs that are coming together. So this master class that we've been talking about helps to contribute to this, where we move from these unconscious behaviors, careless behaviors that create devolution or regression, where we move from that, which is what is creating the world that we live in today, over to these conscious behaviors, where now it's an upward spiral, where we're elevating ourselves, where we're elevating humanity, where we understand that our thoughts do matter, and where we train ourselves to live in these beautiful realities of what life was supposed to be in the first place. So we've said 20 years. Okay, everything we're doing, our Global Oneness Summits, our master classes, this Humanities Stream Plus platform, that they're all here with the objective of supporting this planetary awakening and conscious evolution in its fullness in 20 years. Because even within our program, I think Len discusses this also, Bruce Lipton certainly does, that there's an existential crisis here on the planet. And most of us aren't going to go to Mars. There's no plan B. But we don't need to. I mean, that's the whole thing, is there's such a beautiful future we have right here, right now on this planet. All we need to do is live consciously. So we're all in, where we're just like 1,000% in, working with our partners all over the world to create pace, to carry the pace, to step into this pace that brings us into this conscious planet, this conscious humanity that's so necessary. And I mentioned Humanities Stream Plus, and on the Humanities team page, you can also scroll down and see that. And this is a platform where many of our master classes and transformational education and Global Oneness Summit, many of these things are located. You can read about that. There's a 7-day free trial with that program. So there are many neat things about it, because there's unlimited access to programs. But one of the other groundbreaking things about it is that the platforms right now in transformational education are kind of clunky. They're not intuitive, and it's easy to get lost, even if you're quite technical, as you're trying to go from one class to the next to the next. This platform that we have is like your favorite streaming platform. So it's just, you can see the class and the connection to the next class and the connection to the next one. My mother, who's 87, is about as untechnical as they come, and my mother will not get lost on our platform. You just can't get lost on this platform. It's just too simple, which is the whole point. And give unlimited access, make it simple so people can go and take advantage of these programs, and so that we can embody and express this higher consciousness. There you go. You can see it on the screen. So, and you don't need to take it from me. There's a 7-day free trial. So sign up and go through the 7-day free trial. I think you'll really enjoy what you see. Again, it's groundbreaking what is there. The price is also groundbreaking. It's $39.99 a month, which comes to it's about $480 per year. So for a 12-month subscription, it's groundbreaking in the unlimited access to content, in its ease of use, in its pricing. And so this is just a part of this whole PACE initiative, where we're saying, okay, in 20 years, let's do this. Let's become fully conscious ourselves and create a conscious humanity, a conscious earth. So I invite you to check it out. It's amazing. It truly is a groundbreaking platform. So, Lynn, I want to come back to you. Wow, I'm so glad we were able to get this figured out here and be able to come on camera together, bring you in from your home in the UK. So do you have any parting inspirations, thoughts, calls to action to our viewing audience here?
You bet. What we have to understand is this is an unprecedented time. I mean, the old system is eating its own children now, and nothing less than that. And it's being accelerated by this virus because what we're seeing is a global removal of everything that we took for granted. Our liberal democracy is essentially under threat now. I know with us over here in the UK, cases of COVID are dropping rapidly, but the government just asked for more emergency powers, which means it can decide anything it wants to do in in the next 6 months without having to debate it in Parliament. And we're seeing some of that all over the globe. We're seeing a lack of individuality, a lack of community involvement. We're finding so many areas, particularly our corporate, our corporations and where they are operating at everyone's expense. We're seeing all of these things creating crises in the world, climate change, etc. So it is time for all of us to step up, and that's really our final call to action here. Is there is a way forward, a really peaceful, healthy, and happy way forward for everyone. And one of the things that I try to encourage is small groups, the power of 8, because I have found that group intention is one of the most powerful forces in the world. I've seen it lower violence, I've seen it heal people, and I know it can heal the world. So we all need to be Jedi Knights right now. So I guess what we're really trying to do is to pose an invitation out there for you to be a Jedi Knight too. I got my lightsaber right over here. So
All right.
I'm ready.
There we are.
Are you?
I am ready with you. I am ready with you. Boy, perfect, Lynn. And let me ask you now, so we've got a bunch of comments coming in here. We've got a nice viewing audience. Some are asking now, is there any possibility of an intention experience of any kind? I know we've run over. Is there anything you would want to do like that before we sign off?
Yeah, let's just hold just for a minute or two, because we are well over time because of our technical issues. But let's hold an intention together. Just to, first of all, I think to emerge without the virus, to emerge safely into a different world. So I usually do much more specific intentions than this, but I would like us to really hold in our minds and imagine, and even write in the chat, the kind of world that you want to see when we come out of lockdown, when we're fully out there in the world again. Let's just imagine we've erased the old. What does the new one look like? So let's take a deep inhale together and a deep exhale and a deep inhale and a deep exhale and a deep inhale. And now on the exhalation, our intention is that we emerge from this global pandemic and this crisis with a stronger, safer, fairer, and more connected world. And as you hold on that, where imagine in your mind people feeling part of a community, belonging together. Imagine people not being polarized, but agreeing and connecting together. Imagine the workplace and other areas of our lives being fair and things being built on fairness, which is a cornerstone of any successful society. And also imagine us working together, one giant superordinate goal to heal the planet of its ills. So just imagine in your mind and in your heart, bring it down to your heart, what that life looks like. what that new life looks like, and just send it out, let it unfurl, and also feel the intentions of everyone on this call together. Imagine you're holding hands of everyone around the world on this call. So see that new world with your five senses. See it, hear it, feel it, taste it, touch it. And hold it in your heart after we emerge from this broadcast. And as you see that, ask yourself one big question. What's my contribution? What will I do to bring about this world? Just hold it for a minute more. What are you going to do? What's your contribution?
All right. Wow. That was really, perfect. Lynn, thank you. I loved this whole collective intention, this vision that you created, and then bringing it back to now, what are you going to do with your contribution? Wow. Really stunning. Thank you. And the comments here in chat are, everybody's loving it. Many beautiful comments. Amen. Many beautiful comments. Thank you, viewers, for sharing here during this intention experience also. So beautiful. Lynn, thank you so much for being with us here today. And what a treat it has been. And we're excited to be now with Lynn and Greg and Bruce. We're getting ready to launch here, Technology, Consciousness, and Evolution. So we're all going to be going through together. This 8-week program starts on April 5th. So be sure to check it out. And if you feel called to join us, please do. We're going to have a blast, and we're just going to get a whole lot out of the program. So I want to also share that next week we're bringing in Greg Braden's coming in live. Now, he's down in Santa Fe, New Mexico, so he'll be coming in live from his home in Santa Fe. I'll be coming to you live from our studio here in Boulder, Colorado, and we'll talk some more about his contribution to Smarter, Stronger, Faster in the masterclass that followed. So, hey, thank you, viewers, for being with us. I know we've gone over here. This has been almost a 90-minute program today. But wow, hasn't it been fantastic that we have stayed longer so we could go a little deeper here with Lynn. Truly an amazing program. So, again, I want to thank Lynn McTaggart, and I want to thank all of you viewers. Thank you for being here with us today for this live Accelebration program. We're going to be back at our normal time next week, which is we start at 12 noon Pacific time, 3 Eastern, and I'll be back live with Greg Braden, so be sure to join us. Okay, namaste, everybody. Thank you for being here with us, and you have a fabulous rest of the day and a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next week.